Check, check, check. 1, 2. Vader Games in the building. Vader Games TV. You know what it is. We got another episode. CIA, Citeh Intelligent Agendas, and I'm not feeling too great about this show, to be honest with you. The subject matter, the things that I've been observing, the things that we're gonna have to discuss, not really liking. I'm gonna give it some time. I'm sending out the link to a few of my peeps if they're able to join. I'm gonna include the link for them. And let me say this. This is going to be an objective conversation, which I try to do often. I try and have an objective conversation often because I really just want to talk ball. When I'm featured on other channels, you'll see a different Vader. 100%. You'll see a different Vader. But if I can, I want to talk ball. Now, let me say this. First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, always thought of and remembered. And I gotta give a shout out to the very first person in the building. I hope they hit that like button. I know that they dropped a comment because in the building today, the very first comment is Fox. Fox goes, big up Vader. We're there to support big man. I respect that. Thank you so very much. Listen, how am I gonna break this down? Fox, I think it's going to be a case of I present the facts and I hear what you guys have to say and I hear what my peeps got to say. And if you're not part of the live show and you happen to be dropping comments, post show, all good. I read every comment and I appreciate the interactions. Now, over at CIA, we have to combat. We have to combat against all of the other rivals that talk crud, that talk grimy, that talk dirty on Manchester City, and move with their own agendas. They move with their own agendas. And hey, I'm cool and understanding that obviously there's a lot of content creators out there. From a city standpoint, we talk more of ourselves. We talk more of what the club are trying to do. We don't really do the countering. We don't really do the pushback, the fight back, right? We talk amongst ourselves, which is great because we make sure everyone's uplifted and everyone's on the same page. But sometimes getting the word out in terms of what these rivals are doing and pointing the finger back at them, right? Holding the mirror up and being like, relax. You got all these shots at City. You got all these criticisms. Look at yourselves. But on today's show, I need to talk about this dominance. I need to talk about Liverpool. All right. So this show, the title of the show, if you're listening and not watching, Liverpool attempting a level of dominance never seen in the Prem. And that this is not being extra. I'm not trying to exaggerate here. We're honestly seeing an attempt at dominance that City didn't even do. An attempt at dominance that, United didn't do. Chelsea didn't do. This is very unique, and it's important to watch and pay attention to because Liverpool have already got an amazing signing in Florian Wirtz. They did that off the back of winning the Prem. They did that off the back of not signing but one player last summer. They did that off the back of getting rid of a manager that many said and many thought was like the key to how Liverpool got back into in terms of relevance and competing with regards to winning Prem titles. Like, I'm not taking any slights. They had a fall off. They had a drop off, right? There's a reason why all of the talk, all of the counterpoints, all of the digs with regards to Steven Gerrard is because of his inability to have won the Prem. Like, Liverpool weren't doing it like that, right? There's such a switch up here. And the switch up is another reason why I sometimes get labeled as a gaslighter. I get labeled as being contrarian. But the switch up has been working for a while, has been in the works for a while with regards to FSG over at Liverpool. And many fans, I get it, no matter what club you're at, you want You want that change. You want things to just turn around. You look at how other clubs are doing it, and obviously, and I hear this all the time. Oh, look at what Chelsea are doing. Oh, look at what City are doing. Look at what Arsenal are doing. And every fan base wants to pick out the good things happening at other clubs and not really taking the context in terms of why things are different at their clubs or why they got to move differently. But this FSG and what they've been able to do for Liverpool, and many Liverpool fans still don't want to give FSG credit. I get it. That's your own battles. But what FSG have been able to do, and obviously they're doing it in a different way. They're not doing it the way you would say, oh, look at City and how they're doing it. Oh, look at Chelsea and Liverpool and FSG have done it their own way. But after winning a Prem, they've actually, let me rewind a bit. They've won a Prem, and shout out to, I'm going to bring a special guest to the platform, so I'm going to get this intro out and then we'll connect. So please stay tuned. Don't miss out on my guest that I'm bringing through. But Liverpool had a new manager, had 3 players that were in contract flux, right? Questions on what they were going to do, and they managed to not only win the Prem, but as they were doing so, before falling off, they were actually leading Champions League with regards to the group stage. That level of success, right? Season's over. They've won the Prem. They've now gone back and strengthened. And I want to pose this question. I'm going to bring the guest forward. I'm going to give a hint, and I'm also going to share some of these comments. I'm going to go to the comments, and then I'm going to bring my guest forward. But just to show you a hint on who's coming to the stage, just so you can be prepared and you can know what's going down. Let me put that on screen, so you'll have to be watching because you're not going to know if you're just listening. All right, that's a little hint on what's happening. So let me quickly go to the comments. Mateo in the building, he goes, will they retain though? This season we'll see what they are really made of. Will they retain the way they're setting up, the way they're investing? It'd be hard to argue against it. It really would. AJ in the building, he goes, big up Vader every time, my dude. Good looking out. Hope the family's good. I'm good. It's early out here, so I want to do something before the Saturday activities happen with the fam. AJ goes, in my honest opinion, if Liverpool get Alexander Isak, the Prem is over before a ball gets played over. You know what? I'm gonna bring my guest. We're gonna address just that. All right. So if you missed it, tune back in, see who is coming to the stage. My man, Gundalorian. How you doing, Gundo?
Good morning. How are you, mate? How's it going?
I'm good. Good morning to you as well. Good
Yeah,
morning to you as well.
it's early out here. It's 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. Hey, same here. I'm like, you know what? I wanted to kind of get this show and this content out, and then planning the Saturday. I don't know if it's similar for you, but you know, it kind of gets go pretty early. So I was like, you know what? Let me try to get an hour in here.
Yeah,
How you doing? How's the fam?
yeah, good. Can't complain. It's gorgeous out here. I think it's about
Nice.
71 degrees now. 72. It's supposed to hit 86, 88 today.
Ooh,
So
and is it humid? Because you're in the DC
not too
area, right?
much. That starts next week. Is going to be 100. So it's going to be
100 with the humidity.
next week.
Yeah, it's rough. That's rough.
So
I'm glad you're able to join.
mm,
I'm very appreciative of whenever we're able to like chop it up and I get your input. And I
mm,
know it's early days, but AJ he posed a question, and I'm asking AJ as an Arsenal fan. He goes,
mm,
this is AJ, in my honest opinion, if Liverpool get Alexander Isak, the Prem is over before a ball gets kicked. Now,
mm,
I want to, as I pose that to you, let's realize that Liverpool won the Prem, and since winning the Prem, they've invested in Kirkez left back. They've invested in Frank Pong right back.
Mm.
They've invested in the best German player in Florian Wirtz, and it looks like they're making strong moves for Alexander Isak. Would you agree that if those three signings that they already got and the addition of an Alexander Isak, would you say that they would be favorites for the Prem next season?
Well, it's over for Arsenal. That's Arsenal, right? I mean, it's over for
Mm,
them. They're
end
not
of the day,
winning
though.
anything. But no, I don't. I don't think so. I think we had a poor season last year by our standards, and I
Mm,
think that if Guardiola gets his mojo back, nothing stops him. It's just the evidence is clear, the data is clear. It doesn't lie. Um, if Guardiola gets his mojo back and stops faffing around with these changes and gets his players back, there's no comparison to him. I don't care who he has. It's not
okay.
even a debate or question, in my opinion. Question is not Liverpool. The question is, what do we do, and how do we approach next season? That's the bottom line. There's a reason
Okay.
why you won four in a row, even with the better Liverpool team in Klopp's Liverpool. Let's be clear, Klopp's Liverpool are clear of Slot's Liverpool. Clear. It's not even a joke, and we still
You-
beat them a couple of times.
See, I'm
So
surprised with you saying that because I don't think that Klopp's last 2 years at Liverpool, he had the better
yeah, it's
Liverpool.
not the last. Think about the peak, right? And forget about the last. The peak Liverpool 18-19, the peak Liverpool 19-20, the peak Liverpool that took us to 97 points or 92 points. That's what I'm talking about, right?
You-
That peak Liverpool was non-stoppable. I mean, it's just, I mean, you get to 98, 97 points, and you don't win the league. They lost one game all season. One
Yeah,
game
but
all season.
lem-
They,
you know
they
what?
don't, they don't, they don't. There's just no comparison. If you coach the game, you study the game, you know, there's no comparison. It's just a different level. So this, revisionism that we have from some Liverpool fans is just because there's copium. They know the truth, and we all know the truth.
What? So what? Wait, what do you mean? What's the revisionism?
Oh, Klopp is out now, so it's now a new manager. He won the league when everybody was poor, fine. But you look at the football, the kind of football that Klopp played, and the intensity that he played in that season where he lost it by 1 point, one game.
Yeah, but wasn't there something to be said that he wasn't able to sustain that level, though? Right.
Can't
So I.
sustain that level. That's the brilliance of it. It's a shining star, supernova. Can't sustain it.
So yeah. So if it can't be sustained, at Slot's chance at going back to back, and I'm going to bring the comment on
Yeah,
the screen.
but again, I think where you're going to. But then, Guardiola is a supernova that's is sustainable. That's the difference. Klopp, it's supernova that kind of burst open and shined, was so bright but still faded. But Guardiola in 4 years, the supernova that kept burning and burning and burning. In 1 year, he didn't burn, which he faded last year, but is
Mhm.
recycling again. So my problem is not Liverpool. My problem is City. Are we going to get his mojo back? And if he gets his mojo back, it's no getting this. It happened again. He'll try, but I don't see it. If
Okay.
Guardiola gets his mojo back, for the
All right.
Arsenal fan, Arsenal, there's no chance anyway. It's just yeah, they should have done it
Yeah.
last season.
Listen, AJ, I disagree with Gundaloran with regards to Arsenal's no chance. Only well, but sorry, I agree with him as of now because of how things stands with your transfer window. But there is room to change in terms of that opinion. Let me bring Mateo to the mix. He goes, if we do win back to back the if we do win back, he goes, if we do win back the Prem, what will the excuse be for Liverpool fans after spending so big in thus transfer window? That's going to be an interesting dilemma, an interesting issue, Mateo, because and Liverpool fans in the chat, it's such a difference in terms of how aggressive they're being, and this is why I titled the show the way I did because it brings on a different set of pressures, right? Not that the Liverpool fan base or not that Liverpool can't handle it, but it is unique in terms of how they have to move because then they become the ones that are targeted. They become the ones that are highly expected to win again. They become the ones that are, and then again, this may happen, may not happen, but I believe Liverpool being media darlings, they wouldn't get the same scrutiny as oh, they've bought the league. Look at how much they spent. Look at all of the signings. I don't think they would get criticized like that. But having 2-1 because of how much was invested would be a different pressure. I see Zane in the building. He goes, "We still need a center back as well, Vader." So as I mentioned, all the signings, left back, right back, mentioned the attacking player in Florian Wirtz, mentioned the possibility of a proper 9, because they've been doing well without one, or a competent one. And then he's saying they still need a center back, and they're rumored to get Gahey. So it looks like they're trying to fill all the gaps. But when
The issue, Victor, is not. It's not. Yeah, you get the issue for me next season will be, is Guardiola going to revert back to Guardiola, who is not a control freak? That's the issue.
when was he
That's the
not
issue.
a control freak though? When?
17, 18, 18, 19, right?
Okay. So,
Those were the years. Once we moved to this false nine in the COVID season, we came out of that, and we got Grealish. It changed because you won the treble. This we got to
but
control
what would
everything,
make
every
you
single
think?
detail.
But don't you think you're setting up an expectation that probably realistically won't happen, because that was 17, 18, and he hasn't reverted back to that style, to expect that next season? Wouldn't that be?
Well, he's halfway there, right? I mean, think about what he did like in 17, 18. He got a left fullback in Mendy. I don't know why people
Mhm.
don't like calling his name. I'll call his name. Everybody
Yeah,
makes
I'm fine with
mistakes,
Mendy. No,
right?
yeah,
But now he's got Aït-Nouri at left back, a natural left back. So now you can
mhm,
move Josco to the center with Diaz or even with Stones.
yeah.
But now what he needs to do, the last piece that he needs to solve, the two pieces, is the right back. There is no way he should play Rico Lewis at right back next season. Just no way. For
Okay,
what I
yeah.
saw in person at the stadium, there's just no chance. There's just no way. The kid should go out on loan, to go play
You don't
somewhere else.
you don't you
Um,
don't think he should be backup?
no, 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 no. I'm being honest and fair. He's just not that level. And there's a lot of sentiment because he's a local lad. He grew up, Manchester, yada yada. But the truth is, he's just not good enough to be in our first team. It's just a fact. It's just
And
not.
this is regardless of the poor call for the red card.
I mean,
Like
I watched him all season. I was talking about the fact that I don't think this guy's good enough to play in the team. So I said, I'm going to go to the stadium, take a look at him against Wydad, that number 4. I'm going to see for myself,
mhm,
right? If what my job. When I looked at what happened, I looked at him in the game off the ball. He's not. He's not.
hmm,
It's not fair on him. He's not, Victor. We need a right back.
okay. I
We
mean,
need a right
he's
back. We need a
not.
right back. The quality of Josco. How Josco played left back for us. We need a right back with that same level of quality. You get that, you're cooking. But Rico's not it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And then
that
Savinho, for me again, is not the kind of right wing we need. It's just not. It's just not.
do,
It's just
do,
not.
do, do you not prefer him on the left?
No, because that's Jeremy Doku's spot. I think he's effective over there. You need a proper right winger. Don't play Foden. Foden's better central. So you need an explosive
Yeah.
kind of wing on the right, and you need to get it right back, because that was what's happening in the game. So in the game on the week or last couple of days ago, they attacked the left hand side, but that's Nico O'Reilly. He's not a left back. He's a center midfielder. But you have
Yeah.
Aït-Nouri, so Aït-Nouri's covered that. They also attacked us on the right, on the left side, which is our right side, and that was where Rico was and Savinho was, and it was just, yeah, it was not good. Centrally, they didn't attack us too much because you had Reinders there, you had Ake there, you had Victor Hayes there, but those were two wide areas that they really struggled, and we need to
Okay.
fix that. You know, so
Hmm.
if they fix that, you'll cook. We're good.
Okay. So we've got to fix some defensive issues, and obviously on the attacking right, as mentioned. The dominance that we're seeing, the spending that we're seeing from Liverpool, I think it's a big if. Like when we talk about if we kind of get out of our own way, if Pep reverts back to something that's, nearing 9 years ago, um, then the confidence is us versus Liverpool. And you've dismissed Arsenal as of now. And I would do the same until we see some differences in terms of their signings. But
Yeah, Arsenal is. It's one. Arsenal's year was last year. That was the year. That was a year. To go again after the disappointments of the last seasons, to go again, I just don't see it, mate. I just don't see it. And
See, I do because I think they faced a similar season to us in terms of losing their best player. Like they lost Saka for such a long portion of the season, and I can't quickly dismiss how much we miss Rodri and being like, oh, you know what, they're not gonna get back in it. But I think it was just like crap hit at the same time. They had
yeah,
they had Saka not available. Obviously, Arteta was trying to scramble and figure out what the system was, and we witnessed that with regards to Pep trying to figure out the best way to do it, and we suffered the one win, not all losses,
yeah.
but the one win in 13. I just I just think they Arsenal in particular, if they address what they were weak in, right? Where they were weak last season, and I know there's all rumors all over the place with regards to who they're going to get in attack, but I think if they address where they were weak in, I think they're going to be back in it because Arteta is so kind of like defensive pragmatic, and he does know the league very well. Like he knows his opponents very well. I think they're still going to be there and abouts. It's obviously
And that's
then.
fair. That's fair. I think they'll be there on the bounce, but you're talking about winning the Premier League, right? Not being there on the bounce, right?
Yeah, well,
So,
that's the
so when you talk about winning the Premier League with 38 games, plus all the European games, plus all the other tournaments and cups, I just don't see it for them this year. There can only be one winner, and I don't see them. I don't see them there.
I hear
Um,
it. I hear it. Hey,
I think Liverpool,
uh,
City will probably be those two again. They'll go at it. Um, but like I said, this what I see from the coaching staff that he's brought on board, the new staff he's brought, the changes he's made. What I saw in the game is some players. Um, if he plays the way we know he can play, and puts players in their position, I think they get it again.
so as you talk about players in their position, and we haven't seen Liverpool kick the ball yet, right? We haven't seen their new additions. We know who they're rumored to get. Um, I heard you talk about Rico the last game, and you were
Mhm.
happy with what you saw elsewhere. W-
Yeah, yeah, I like lots of
Yeah,
things that I saw.
what's giving you confidence with the additions that we have to be able to combat?
Yeah, the star of the show for me, the signing of the summer, for me is Reinders. Um, it
Ooh,
was watching the game, watching him. My eyes were just on him throughout. It was just on him. And this kid was just, when you as a coach, you do these tryouts, right? Kids come in to try out, and you give them numbers, they come on the field, you play, watch them for your next team. And many times, what you do is that you watch kids that you like, and you see how they behave. And
yeah.
then there are moments in the tryout or the session where there's a difficult moment, and you want to see how they react to that moment.
Hmm.
And many times when they react positively and do the right thing, you and your coaching staff kind of nod your heads and say, yeah, 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 that's we're confirmed. There was a moment in the game that day in Philadelphia where there was one difficult moment where he made this pass. I think it was to Shirky from a very tight spot in between two or three players. And it was a progressive pass. It wasn't a backward pass.
Where
It was
where where were we on the pitch? Was it
we
middle?
were in we know we were in the attacking third, I believe, attacking
Okay.
third in the first
Okay.
half. I can't remember the minute exactly.
Yeah,
Attacking
yeah.
third in the
No,
first half,
no, all
and
good.
he was in attacking third, had the ball, received the ball, I think from Ake or from somebody from Ray Hayes. They collapsed on him, and then he found this pocket and played the ball to Shirky, who almost scored a goal. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And then there was another ball where he gets the ball again under pressure with two or three around him, and he places, you know, I have the needle ball all the way to Savini on the right hand side, out of pressure. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. This guy's it. This guy's it. So now imagine. So later on, what I saw, I was looking forward to seeing Reinders and Rodri together. And
Hmm.
when Rodri came on, I saw how they combined. Rodri a little deeper, Reinders a little higher. It was just good to watch. He just switched to 4-2-4. That's what he did.
Yeah.
The coach switched to 4-2-4, which allowed those two central midfielders to play that position, which is unusual because you usually have three or four in the middle. That's what
Yeah.
we usually have. But then he switched that 4-2-4. But those two control the middle of the field because they're so good technically.
Yeah.
Um,
But then
this,
you also have the dropping into space for Shirky and Foden Although maybe one of them might have been subbed off at that time.
Yeah, yeah, it
Um,
was really good to watch. Really, really, really good to watch. I enjoyed it tremendously. So,
so,
but
so
that's my kind of my point, right? Is you just need. I think you need that right back, and I think if you get that right back, I think you solved a massive problem because now you have balance and you can rotate players out of the back line easy. Um, Maybe it's Akanji playing right back, maybe it's Nunes playing right back, but it cannot be Rico. It just cannot be Rico.
no, yeah, I don't think there was much belief that Rico would be a starting right back. I think there is, the idea of him retaining at the club because again, I mean, this has been talked at length, but we do need English players in terms of a balance. Um, and I think right, like as of now, Rico's of that age, right? Um, but the the signing, securing a right back. Obviously, we've been rumored with a few. Like early in the year, there was Cabiasso. As of late, there was Livermento. I think a few things are getting kind of priced out. But as you said, we need someone of the same quality of Gavardiol when he was playing out there at left back before moving back centrally. That's an 80+ million signing. Like that's a signing for 9-10 years, right? Like the way we went on and secured him 2 seasons
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that's yeah,
But
that's
that's the difference, though. In my opinion, that's the delta. That is
mm,
the delta between domination, right, and rotation with players who are not quite there, and you're always having to have this hybrid way of just yeah. If you want to dominate and get 100 points again, like you did before, you need to have. That's what we had. Fullbacks, Mendy, Walker, just bombing up and down the field, right? And we had that
mhm,
width from the outside, and those two wingers can tuck in or they can go inside. Wingers can go outside. We play this we didn't play inverted fullbacks, trying to go. No, no, no. We had a six who could run, Fernandinho, who could chase, who could close things down. You
mhm.
had fullbacks who were going back and forth. You could flex from a 4-3-3 to a 2-3-5 to a 3-2-5. You could flex because you had that energy. Now we don't have that. So you
So
need that piece.
so as currently constructed, let's not put a player at right back, right? Let's think of what your ideal right back would be, and we'll get back to the show, guys. I just want to get Gundo's opinion, and I see you in the comments. Good looking out. You know, um, Reza just joined. Just joined. We've got Mateo also within the comments. I'll tackle that. I put a star into it, and then Godfrey's in the building. Big up Vader. Hope you, sir, are good. I'm good as well as Gundalorian. Thank you so very much. Now, as currently constructed, let's exclude our right back. Let's say we do have that ideal right back. We're probably facing a Liverpool as it stands now. I'm going to go based off of rumors, right? They're going to have Alexander Isak at 9. They're going to have Mo Salah at right wing. At left wing, for now, let's say they have Luis Diaz for now, or it might be Gakpo. Who knows? But that's probably the weakest in terms of their front line. I think they play Florian Wirtz in the 10. Um, and then when you look at what they would probably do in the midfield, they I would assume they'd go with Gravenberch, and they'd probably partner that up with McAllister. Those of you Liverpool fans in the chat, if you think I'm off with that, let me know. But they've got those players. Now that's 6, and then their defensive line most likely Kirkez, Van Dyke, Kanate, and they got Frankpong, and obviously Allison at keeper. That is a very dominant team. That's a very dominant team.
Yeah, I mean, I
As,
hear you. I hear you, but we've beaten a better Liverpool team
no, but we
before.
can't. No, but we also had different players at that time.
Yeah,
So
but we had
at the
but we had the same manager. We had
yeah,
the same manager.
but he's got to use he's got to use the tools at hand. So I want to look at as currently constructed for us. We see that Liverpool team that was just mentioned. Um, what would be your 11 here at City trying to combat that?
For me,
Yeah.
oh, it's very simple. I'm very simple. I'm doing Josco Diaz. I'm doing Ait Nori. Right now, I'm doing Nunez at right back because we don't have a right back. I'm doing
Yeah.
Rodri, Reinders. I'm doing Foden. I'm doing Haaland. I'm doing Savinho, and I'm doing Doku.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going
Okay.
back to the. I'm going back to what made us click. I'm going back to the 4-3-3. I'm not going to overthink, overcook, over-engineer anything. I'm not. You got Nunez
Hmm.
and Ainori with the power, the pace, athleticism to cover the fullback areas. You got Reinders, Rodri, and Foden as a midfield three. You got Josko and Diaz. You got Haaland, Savinho, and Doku. You got wings, speed. You got the killer in front. And you got the midfield balance of Rodri, Reinders, and Foden. I mean, Foden won the PL Player of the Season two seasons ago. Rodri's going Ballon d'Or. Reinders is a prodigy. Who beats that? Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
He's
Easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not doing inverted fullbacks with Rico tucking in and go,
No, no, no,
no.
I'm not saying all that, but when those players that you mentioned, that three versus Verts, McAllister, and Gravenberch.
Oh, those our three clean them out. Clean them out. Easy. Clean them out. You have a Ballon d'Or winner, the former Premier League player of the season,
Yeah, he's coming
and
off an ACL. I
and
think we're
you
gonna
got
have to.
a prodigy in Reinders. What are you talking about? We forgot?
No, there's not a. We do have to bring Rodri along, though. Would you agree to that?
What do you mean bring him along?
Like we're gonna be monitoring him very
Rodri's
closely
fine.
as.
I watched him. He's fine. Rodri's fine. I watched him. And the weird thing about it was when I was watching Rodri, right? So every time there was a tackle on him, I looked to my left hand side. I saw the technical staff. They didn't shake, not a move, and they all had their earpieces on, right? Nothing.
Yeah,
He's fine. He's fine. People
Rodri.
forget. People forget the legacy of these boys, right? You got Foden,
Mm.
Premier League Player of the Season. You got Reinders, who's brand new, and you got Rodri, the Ballon d'Or winner, the Ballon d'Or, the Ballon d'Or. You want to compare that with McAllister, Gravenberch, and who else was the other guy? And Wirtz.
Yeah.
I posted. I said, why would you buy Words for 100 million? We can get Prime Foden back, player of the season, 2 seasons ago. Did we forget?
No, it's not a forgotten thing, but it
Yeah,
is a we need to see him get back to that level.
yeah, get
And
back.
I
Good,
gotta
go.
say, I was happy with how he played.
Yeah,
I did like the movement that I saw and the joy because I mean these players aren't robots, guys, and obviously
players to come
rivals
back.
want to kind of
Yeah,
dismiss this stuff, but you got to play with a smile, you got to play with a certain enthusiasm, and it was good
yeah.
to see that from Foden. The
We
fact that
often forget. We often forget. Notice I didn't put Gundogan, Bernardo, or De Bruyne in that three.
yeah, I
Notice?
noticed you and the chat noticed you didn't put Marmouche out there.
No, no, no. I'm not because I want natural wingers. I want to have my wingers back. I don't want to have a guy who's a number 10 playing as a winger. I don't want to overcomplicate things. I don't need it. Don't need that.
But you also finished saying that you don't like Savinho on the right hand side.
But he's the only choice we have. He's still
Mm,
an actual winger. He's the closest thing we have to Mahrez. So, okay, fine. But I'm not playing Marmouche on the right hand side and playing him. He's the number 10. If Foden gets tired, bring on Marmouche. Switch it. If Marmouche gets tired, bring on Echeverry. Right?
wow.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. The problem with Veta is that last year we overcomplicated too many things. Too many players who in weird positions, not quite sure what they're supposed to do, no balance, keep changing it. You lose rhythm. Liverpool had rhythm because they played players in their positions and they got the formula. We need to go back to that. Simple. That's what you need to do. Rodri, Reinders, vote. That's your midfield three. That's your
Okay.
midfield three.
Okay. So let me pose this. If that's the starting and we're midway through the season, what's your kind of like your alternative?
Echeverry's there, can play number 10. Okay. Marmoush can play number 10. Gundogan, if he's still fit, can come in and help us out with a 6 or an 8.
Mhm.
Yeah. He can play Nico Riley, he can play that number 8 because he's box to box, he can run, there's energy. You have options. On the wings, you can play Marmoush if you have to play Marmoush in the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
so
I gotta admit, I gotta agree with Godfrey here, because he goes the very even midfield. To be honest, I wouldn't say City completely dominate Liverpool's midfield. I'm in agreement here. I think I think there's differences in terms of, I think maybe a pace within one's midfield. I would give, and again, I'm being very cautious. I love the confidence that I'm hearing from Gunnar Lorien. Obviously, he was able to attend the game. He saw firsthand. But for me, it's kind of like I'm gonna wait to kind of see more with regards to Rodri, especially with regards to the pace of the game. But technically, like his vision, his understanding, I know he's gonna be on point. But that
The key, the sweet note in all this is if we didn't have Reinders, then I would be worried. But the sweetener for me is Reinders. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, I'm telling you. I mean,
and it so
this kid is next level. He is.
and so
He
when
is.
Reinders needs a rest, are you thinking Gonzalez?
Yeah, you can play Nico Gonzalez. That's another option.
Okay.
You could play them, right? You can play Nico Gonzalez. That's another option.
Okay. Mateo's in the building. He reminds of us of HMSC. You still think that's a strong going out on loan
Bro,
possibility?
that Echeverry?
Yeah.
No loan. No chance.
Mm.
No chance. Has to stay. You
I'd
need to
like.
start rebuild. Listen, you need to have options. If Foden gets tired and wants to come off, you need to have Echeverry come in. You can't bring in Gundogan and I mean you can, if you have to. Bernardo's still there as well. He's gonna have a role to play, maybe control the game. Look, you got players, kid. You got players, bro.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mentioned those three. I didn't mention Bernardo, Gundogan,
No, no,
yeah,
I know.
I did.
I know. It's gonna be interesting to see what Pep kind of tries and
Yeah, but in my opinion, what he has to do is go back to what he knows really works. That balance in the midfield, the defensive Busquets, the kind of a Xavi kind of Reinders, the Iniesta kind of Foden. Think about that, right? Go back to what worked under Barcelona back in the day. Yeah, Busquets, yeah, Xavi and Iniesta, right? What
So
is that like?
yeah, hear me out real quick. And again, we need to see it before all this happens. But I'm a I'm a little indifferent because I think Pep wants the attacking options. I think he wants those flying fullbacks to be available, and I think he wants those options in terms of wingers. But I s- I see him having one or the other, and I could be wrong. Maybe he does the dual Doku and Savino, but I kind of see him doing one versus the other, like having a Doku and maybe having, I want to talk about control, but maybe that width is available with one winger, let's say Doku on the left, but he
Yeah,
maybe
this is
relies
and this is
on the width with the fullback on the
and
opposite side.
right, but this is the problem, right? This is kind of why we got stuck last season because we overcomplicate things, right? We overcomplicate and we're trying to have this control, but also the winger. And so you play only one wing versus two. You don't stretch your position enough. The other player is always checks back into his left foot, and then you're stuck in the middle. This is what created the problems. Go back to what worked. Go back to what worked efficiently. Okay, you didn't win the Champions League with it, but it was exciting. People were afraid of you, more afraid of you then. Then get Haaland back to his best, right? Stop faffing around missing easy goals. Be the killer that
Mhm.
we need. I mean, you're comparing Isak to Haaland. There's no comparison between Isak and Haaland. There's none.
Oh no, no, but Isak
There's
is a
just
very
none.
good strike. He's a very good
Right?
striker.
But then when you compare striker for striker, Haaland is a beast. The guy is seriously. So, Pep
Mm,
teams are known for their midfield. And that midfield of Reinders, Rodri, and Foden for me is top. It is top.
okay, I
Worst
see.
case scenario, right? If you really want a good winger out there that's available, go for Rodrigo. Does he want to play on the right though? I don't know. You know,
Nah, I hear you. Mateo out here with the joke. He goes, "We are cooking next season, guys," and I don't mean cooking the books to all you opposition mutants out there. Nah, I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Mateo. I think we are cooking with a lot of options. Pep's going to have so many ingredients to kind of play around with. And the reason why I've got to take a step back, and the reason why at CIA we got to assess the oppositions, and on today's show we're really looking at Liverpool in particular, is because they have many options as well. This is Slot now second season in the league. Obviously, there's going to be a target on their back because they've now won the league. No one's going to really approach them as maybe not unknowing as they may have been before. I think they're going to be very, very well versed and aware of what the threats are over at Liverpool. But until the exits happen, there are a lot of options still over at Liverpool, right? You got Gakpo, you got Diaz, you got Jota, you got Nunez until that's done, and in the midfield you got Sabuzlai in addition to McAllister and Gravenberch, and I know there's rumors about Elliott leaving. So I think the only thing that's got me like, ooh, if they have any type of challenges or issues at right wing, because Salah was unbelievable last season, it's like maybe they don't address that issue. Because to rely on Salah for all 38 games league wise, to rely on him on all the cup runs, the important ones, is going to be a lot in on that particular player. So that's where I'm kind of seeing like, ooh, maybe there's some flaws in that armor right there, but they got options. Um, do you are you surprised with how strong the rumors are with an Isak, with regards to Liverpool? Or
No, I'm not surprised. He's a good player. They need a number 9. Darwin's not it, and so they're going to go for him. They know that we have Haaland, right? They know, and they know that we're going to be back. That's why they're making all these signings. They know we're going to be back. Your competition reacts to what you do sometimes, right? Because they know we're going to be back, so they have to do the same thing as well. So yeah, let it be a good race. I want to see it. Just kind of fuel and desire that we need to get our season up and running as well. You're a good competitor. We made signings. They're going to make signings. They have words. We have Foden. Right? We don't have talk. I haven't talked about Turkey yet.
yeah,
That's another option, right? So we often forget how loaded we are, and we often forget the pedigree of the manager that we have. Right? We often forget that because we had a terrible season last season.
so okay, so let me ask you, because we did see Shirky start. What would you? How would you have maybe changed up the 11 that you
Yeah.
saw?
So what I saw, Shirky's not the false 9. He doesn't want to
Okay,
play it. Clearly doesn't like it. I could see from his body language that, I don't fancy this, but I'm going to do it because the manager asked me to do it. And sometimes coaches do these things to kind of figure out, kind of humble a player, if you would, right? It's just
so
serious stuff.
actually, let me ask you this: didn't you think? I thought that in possession we were seeing Marmoush and him occupying, I don't know, like a false 10, or like they were both in advancing space, like where
Yeah,
the 9 would be, and they were kind of
yeah.
interchanging. So, um, yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but so
I think
you,
Chucky, in my opinion, and plays likes to play a little deeper, like almost like a deep number 10. The kind of role that Foden was playing is what he likes to play.
okay,
Right. So it was clear to me that day that he is doing a job, but he didn't like it. And there was a moment, I think, in the second half where he was pressing, and you could just tell it was like maybe a 70% press, not 100% press.
yeah, yeah,
Which tells me that I'm gonna just do this thing because the coach wants me to do it. And when it came off, I mean, his head was a little down because he didn't feel he had a good game, but then
yeah.
he's playing the position where he doesn't play.
Well,
He's
yeah,
playing,
and I see it differently as well. Sometimes when I like looking at the body language or looking at the effort, sometimes I see the doubt, like a player playing in a role that they're not very well comfortable in just yet. Like,
yeah,
so I was seeing that. I was seeing a little hesitation, a little bit of
yeah,
uncertainty in terms of what
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
And obviously that happens when you're a new player at a club. So
yeah.
if so,
It was obvious in person on the field. I could see it right away.
so what would
I
you,
could see it.
if you were to change that 11 or alter placement of these players, just with regards to getting Turkey in the mix, how would
Oh,
you
you
have
mean
done it?
Chucky would call me one of the number 10s, left or right?
Okay.
And let's say
Yeah.
Haaland's not available. You play Mamouche up front, make him a false 9 because he has the energy. His mentality is one that's going to work hard. He feels honest to be at the club, play him as a false 9. And then you play Chucky with him. You play Gonzalez at the 6. And you could play somebody, Echeverry at the other number 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have options. So you have two teams, basically, 2 teams of 3 in the midfield,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Um, but,
Well,
but,
I think we're gonna need
but
it.
if you notice, Victor, my own philosophy is go back to simplicity, right? Enough of this Rico's kind of this half fullback, half center midfielder, so he's confused where to be. In transition, he gets lost. Go back to your fullbacks. Go back to your 4-3-3. Your basic 4-3-3. Yes, there's some flex in that. You can change systems based on where the ball is, but go back to the basics. And let's flex like we did before.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there is going to be. It's obviously going to be opposition dependent. Like the style of play that you're talking about, like that aggressive or free flowing attacking style is going to be opponent dependent because, in my opinion, when we have clubs that are gonna try to go toe to toe, I think Pep's going to express the team that way. When it's going to be a case of this team that all they are going to care for is a draw and they're not going to come out of their shell, I think we might see more of the, where's the attacking pace? Why is this so controlled? But it's because we're probably going to be possession dominant and look to break things down. I see a comment out here from we got Gatman in the building. He goes, City dropped 250 million after winning the treble. We've seen this before. We spent 250 after winning the treble. That's not true. After winning the treble,
we didn't spend that much.
After winning the treble, we got Doku.
Yeah, we didn't spend that much.
I got to go back now. No, after winning the treble, we got Doku.
No, he's probably talking about this January. That's what he's talking about. The context.
Oh yeah,
the larger context.
No, Gatman, that's yeah. I mean, you're extending it too much. I'm talking about like immediate response. Like we could do the cumulative in terms of spending. That's a different story. But the immediate response after winning the title, like this is where I'm being very genuine in terms of like this perspective, because after winning the title, you didn't see City go out and do like back-to-back record-breaking signings. And I get it. We're gonna get thrown the Jack Grealish spend in our face when we won the Prem. But go back that season, we bought one player. We bought one player, and that was Jack. And again, people are gonna look at what was spent and say 100 million. Oh, that must have been da 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 da. No, that was 100 million release clause to get Jack, and that's all that we did. We're looking at Liverpool that are spending 100+ million on one player, in addition to left back, right back, potential center back, and a 9. Right, so
that's good.
That's what I mean, Gatman. That's what I mean.
That's good. It's good. I mean, I think it's good that they spend, and it's good that we spend. That's good. But again, for me, I just go back to Pep. Go back to what made you so magical. Just go. Just you got the players. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't play Bernard in the right wing with no width against the low blocks. Just don't. And then teach Savinho how to use the other foot. Just to teach him how to use it. That's what Sterling. Raheem Sterling has got a lot of slack, like from me, right? Because
yes, he has.
Right. One thing I won't slag him for is the fact that Raheem could go either way.
Yeah.
Go outside, could go inside. I remember the goal against Aston Villa finally of the season. He goes on the outside, cross the ball in, and Gunnar scores a goal.
Yeah.
Savinho doesn't do that. He's so left-footed. He always checks back in. No, go on the outside. How can you be a professional football player and make any kind of money? You can't play on the outside. You can't use 2 feet. How is that possible?
You know what the thing is, and obviously, as some were going after Sterling, I maybe was a little too overly defensive of him. But from how he first joined City and the player that he was to the player that he became before leaving, in that play that you talk about versus Aston Villa, like all of the teachings from Pep were displayed there, because he takes the ball and he makes the defender have to decide. Like he sizes up the defender, and then he kind of lulls him to sleep and then breaks it to his right foot before crossing.
They call it. I think my son's team, they call it the lullaby.
Okay, the lullaby. Yeah, so he kind of makes him like fall asleep for a little bit.
Yeah, they call it the lullaby.
Nice.
Yeah, the lullaby.
And that crossover to Gunnar kind of sparked that whole comeback for the win.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's one of those where Sterling played on either wing, and there wasn't that kind of predictability. I think yes, Savino has room to grow, and you're right. Like the coaching staff need to say, you need to add these tricks to your bag. You need a few more things to be able to do on the wing. I want to shout out ETH Man City, and he goes Ederson, Nunez. So obviously he's going Ederson at keeper, Nunez at right back, Diaz, Gavardio, Ait Nori at left back. Get that. Look at this midfield that he suggests. Gonzalez, Rodri, Reinders. So he's going. I'm assuming he's going to go 4-3-3. So very, very strong midfield. I, I the directness. I'd like to see, because you're talking Gonzalez, Rodri, and Reinders, and then he's got Foden, Marmoush, and Holland. So I'm guessing he's going to put Foden on the right, Marmoush on the left, and Holland. That's an interesting one. I don't.
Yeah, my only, and that's good, right? I like that. But my only issue with that is your best number 10, absent of De Bruyne, you want to play on the wing. No, play him central. You gotta trust. You know, Pep saying, "Well, he's not ready." When is he going to be ready?
Yeah, no, I
You
think the fact
know?
that we saw him central in the Club World Cup, I think the trust is going to be there.
Yeah,
And
the only way these players can get better is by playing them those positions where they're gifted. It's the only way. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to have days that are off, but you just got to play them there. Just got to play
yeah,
them there. These are things that I'm learning, you know, as a coach as well. The only way a player gets better is by playing them, playing them, playing. It's the only
absolutely.
way.
Yeah,
There's no other way.
let me shout out King Hubris out here. He goes, this new Prem season is just going to be Man City versus Liverpool. It kind of looks that way right now, but I'm not counting out Arsenal. I'm not, maybe not for the longevity of the season.
Nice. You're being nice.
Nah. For the longevity of the season, maybe I see them. I see them potentially falling off. Same goes for Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to be in there early like they were last season, but yeah, they're probably going to fall off. And that, I think that's manager experience. I think that's quality of squad. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a sole conversation of Liverpool City for the majority. Daniel in the building, he goes, which right back would you sign? Because I see our production in the wings needs goals, loads of goals.
I don't know the answer to that question. I can tell you the profile that we need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about Anthony Robinson, the left back, right?
Yeah.
That kind of profile.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
I would like a pacey right back that delivers a good cross, and that's all that I would want from them. Like, even if it's like even the, if I just, so hear me out, everybody in the chat. If our right back, our fullback gets matched up with either the winger or the opposing team's left back, I want their sole concern to be, I need to go wide, I need to go touchline tight, because I can't let this defender get past me on the wing. Like, I want that type of responsibility of the opposition to have to get really, really wide and worry about getting past, because if they get past, they deliver a nice either far post cross or cutback cross. Like, I would like that type of threat, because I think it widens the pitch, and I think it gives room for whoever's our attacking player to kind of occupy that space. If I'm going to be, geek out and get really, tactical, and obviously I want some pace there, because I think that just adds a level of confidence defensively, but then also the threat offensively. But yeah, that's that Robinson profile just on the right side, right? So yeah. I'm with that.
Yeah. That's the kind of profile you need. That's the kind of age range you need. Not too expensive. That's kind of what, in my opinion, that you need. Athletic, good control, good understanding of the game.
Yeah.
That's what I think anyway.
No, I hear it. I'm going to tackle a few of these more comments before we kind of close out with the show. But King Hubris goes, yeah, I think you're joining a little late, but y'all think Foden is still relevant? Absolutely.
100%.
I think he.
I mean, how does a player who's played all his life football, because he doesn't play well for 1 year, is no longer relevant? How does that happen?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
think
job of the coaching staff is to get him back to that level, and it takes time. It takes one-on-one. It takes investment. It takes care. It takes care and feeding. It takes all those things.
Mhm.
And I say this because Veta, again, even with little me, I have a player who's my right winger who struggled last season mentally, but we found a way to get the player back, confident playing. You have to spend the energy one-on-one with that player. You
if you
have
don't
to do
mind me
that.
asking, was it confidence in terms of belief in
Just
ability? Was
belief.
it
Just, I mean, one of the best players on our team, right? Is
Mhm.
right winger. Used to play center back, has incredible speed, but we focused on a player's technical ability and belief before a game. Before a game, just a nervous wreck, and I could
Okay.
tell when the player's nervous, right? Just the
Like nervous not
behaviors.
wanting to mess up or nervous
Nervous, not
like
wanting to mess up. Nervous because it's a big game. What's my role going to be? What if I make a
okay.
mistake? I'm like, it's okay to make a mistake. You're
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It's fine,
Gotcha.
right?
Yep.
But when you make the mistake, what do you do next? Right?
Yeah.
And so that affects the player's breathing, affects the player's recovery, and we
Yeah.
figured it out. So, well, how we figured it out was we don't start the player, give him time off, let the game get in rhythm, let them
Yeah.
observe the game, talk to them on the side, and keep talking, give them simple instructions, put them in. Every action that was good, celebrate. Every action that was a mistake, celebrate.
Hmm.
Get the
Yeah.
confidence back, and then all
I
of a
hear it.
sudden, boom. So
No,
it's part of the coaching staff's job, right?
I hear it. I
They
hear
got to
it.
figure that out.
Let me shout out King Hubris as well. Bro said Arsenal, y'all chilling. Hey, um, Gundelorean disagrees with me. As currently it stands, I hear him out in terms of like Arsenal probably aren't in the mix. But if they get their signings, if they strengthen like they're supposed to do, the areas that they were weak in, I think they're back in it. Daniel in the building, he goes, that's Nunez, but he has a bozo gene and he can't hold up against elite wingers. We need a Kunde. Uh, yeah,
Who has a
I
ball
think.
for team?
Sorry, I was just gonna say. I think with regards to Nunez, right? He's obviously playing out of position. When we think about the physique of him, right? When we
Yeah,
think of the physique, it bodes well. He's pacey.
yeah.
He's strong, and he is clever on the ball. Like he can make space for him to get to release the pass. And what I liked was when he remembered that he can cross the ball, he released the crosses, and they're pretty much on point. They deliver well. What and I again, Daniel, I hear you with regards to he's playing out of position, so the defensive awareness, the reading of the game for where he is currently playing. If you want to label it a bozo gene, I kind of hear it, but it's just not being familiar. It's not being astute to what his role is as a right back, and even sometimes recognizing the movement of others because of the space that he's in. So I like I like Nunez. I like Nunez a lot. Um, he's not long term though. He is not long term for us. And when Carl Gundelorian mentions we need the right profile of player and we need them long term. Um, I'm
Let me share an idea with you.
mhm.
Right? What if Nunez was a right winger?
Okay.
Yeah. Right. What are his key attributes? He's strong. He's quick. Can deliver across. He's defensively weak. Okay, fine. What if he was a right winger?
Hmm.
Coming for Savinho on the right side. He's right-footed. Can cross the ball. Can go outside. Or
Yeah.
outside the box. Can go score a goal.
Yeah.
What if he was a right winger as an option?
I I hear it, and maybe that's what Pep's maybe flirting with because we've seen him at times start at right back, but he's been a wing back, right? He's been that far up the pitch. Uh, I, I don't know, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm being very very selfish, very greedy. When Gundo's reminding us of kind of like the 17, 18, 18, 19. I absolutely loved the Kyle Walker profile from a defensive right back
Yeah.
standpoint.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Now, did he have the best of touch in terms of that right foot? Was he a little too much was power versus a little bit of finesse on in terms of that shot? Yes. But that profile of player getting up that pitch, making the opposition have to think about him getting into a space to cross it. When we saw some of the references that Gundo makes, when we saw some of the beautiful play in terms of some of the passes, the intricacy, the aggressiveness moving forward, it was with the Walker occupying those space, not necessarily because he was going to be a threat when he got that ball, but he's dragging a defender with him. He's dragging the opposition with him. So I would like us to get back to that. We got King in the building. He goes, I think Foden and Vinny are on the same form right now, because when I used to watch them every time they touched the ball, it felt like watching magic. I was just capsulated by their play. What do you guys think? I think a little poor running form for the two of them. You got Vinny, who's trying to make it work with Mbappe, and that brings its own pressure, right? That's, you don't want to come across like you're not synced with a player. You want to get the best opportunities, not only for yourself but for your teammate. And I think there's a lot of confusion between the two of them. You didn't see the best of Vinny last season, and then I think you also saw the pressure that Vinny had, because there was so much talk about him and the Ballon d'Or. And then to match that season, he did not do that as well.
Yeah,
he got Foden.
But he created that pressure, right? I mean,
He did, yeah. And the club did that for himself. The club did put that pressure on him as well.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement. Now, Foden had that great run last season, or 2 seasons ago. Now, last season, he didn't match that. Last season, again, I'm not quick to dismiss. I'm often, hey, let me find some more information, but he had poor form due to, some injuries. He had poor form due to some health concerns family-wise. He had some poor form also with regards to him. So rivals, I get it. You don't necessarily want to hear that. And again, professionals, they don't necessarily get that bly. But this season, I think we're going to see that magic back. Whether he's going to be player of the year, I don't know. But I don't think we see back-to-back seasons of Foden being that poor. But I absolutely enjoyed watching him play 2 seasons ago as well as seasons prior to that, because I saw how that progression was happening. He just didn't have it last year. Daniel, bless you already, liked and subscribed. Thank you so very much. And those of you in the channel, thank you so very much. Please, I hope the number of viewers are matched with the number of likes. And don't just show mad support over here on my channel. We got Pitch Points. That's Gundalorian, who's with me right now. And we also partner often. And we're over at True City Fan Patrick. Go over and support him as well. And Mancunian Way. Now, Daniel, hubris is mad. Foden and Vinny aren't the same. Foden never loses the ball. He has technique, not pace. Okay, a little bit of shots. All right, shots fired over there. But I think Foden, I think Vinny, I think they have back. They get back to their form. 4K in the building. He goes large up. Big up. Good seeing you. Smash the likes, everybody. Thank you so very much. Now, we're going to have this conversation as these transfer window remains open, and obviously what we see from our players. The Club World Cup it's a gift and a curse. It's high risk, high reward, because we're obviously playing additional games. There's the chance of added on mileage on some of these legs. There's a chance of possible injury. I don't wish it on anyone, but when you play games, that's a chance. This is an interesting challenge or dilemma, because we have the Club World Cup. Liverpool don't. Liverpool are doing their signings. Liverpool are doing their training. They're going to have their off season without the Club World Cup. Will it be an early advantage for City in terms of the form that are in? Will it be maybe a late disadvantage because of the additional games? Who knows? But it is a case where Liverpool and Arsenal are at home rebuilding. City are competing in this competition. I think the manager's will do a good job if he shows rotation, especially in this group stages. I would like us to get I'm going to say comfortable. I'd like us to get a win so that third game isn't a urgent one. But
it's going to be an urgent one either way.
The third game.
Yeah, it's going to be an urgent one, because you don't want to face Madrid in round of 16, right? You don't want to do that. It's too early. So right now, Madrid are second in the group. So
but they're second in the group.
Yeah,
So if
but
they're
then
second in their group, they would face the first. They would have to face a
right, but
team that's
Madrid may end up winning the group then. They're going to probably end up
yeah.
winning the group anyway, right? Madrid are going to end up winning the group because they're going to probably put goals past the other two teams a lot. So they come first, we come second, and then we play them round 16. You don't want that too early. Another Madrid and City game, which is just another. It's just annoying.
PSG lost. They might end up second.
Yeah, but they have a better bracket side of the bracket, right? I think they play something else on the other side if they do. But for
Okay.
us, it's just avoiding. There's some things you want to avoid earlier, right? I mean, there's stuff. Listen,
Okay.
you win this Club World Cup, and
Yeah.
listen, the Carabao Cup just. So that's
Oh,
one. Yeah, just don't even bother, right? Just no point. All right, FA Cup, we know it's traditional. It's a fine. Okay.
why, Gundo? Why do you do that? Why do you do that?
How? I'm just
What do
telling
you
you
mean?
these facts.
What do you mean? It's not a fact. You mean don't even bother? What do you mean?
Just go play the kids in the Carabao Cup. Don't worry about this.
No,
You
then
win.
I got a challenge. I got a challenge, Gundo. I know it's Saturday morning, but weren't you happy with when we won those League Cups 4 in a row?
Yeah, I was. But
Okay,
if I
so
win the Club World Cup, $100 something million, right, in the
yeah,
bag, and I got extra games that I play, why would I want to play Carabao Cup again? Don't give it to the kids.
because we just started the season winning a trophy, and we would have a chance to win. Like the
Just
yes, we start the kids. Yes, we start the kids, but we're not throwing the competition away, right?
just play the
We're not
kids.
we're not playing.
Play the kids all the way. If you get to the
No,
final, you can
oh
win.
no, you're killing me on this one. You're killing me.
Nah,
Okay, all right. Let me
you
hear you out. I'll hear you out.
at some point, you got to prioritize, right? You can't play all these games and win everything in the season. Something to give,
All right.
right? I'm saying, like, what's the priority right now? It's Club World Cup. It's the
Okay.
Carabao Cup.
Okay. All right. I hear you.
That's
I
the one
hear
that
you.
you can say, you know what? We just I mean, Sir Alex did it,
Yeah.
right? The greatest of all time, the greatest of all time. Sir Alex did it, and
Well,
the English
he
media
didn't
didn't
know any
complain.
better. He didn't know any
Huh?
better. He didn't know any better. Because
Nah, he's just they ask English media. They love him, right? So it must be something he did right. Yeah, it's not a priority. It's
all
just not
right. All
for me
right.
anyway.
Gundalorian pitch points. If we win, and we're playing to win it. Let's not get it twisted. We are playing to win it, but we're also playing knowing that we've got 38 games in the Prem to deal with, as well as Champions League.
Yep.
Right. So there's the manager is definitely looking to balance it too, and he's also looking to get the new additions to the squad familiar so that we can have that good synergy. I'm going to be
I got to
tuned
roll,
in.
by the way, so I got to roll.
Yeah, I'm shutting down as well. I want to thank Gundalorian Pitch Points. Please, his channel details are going to be in the description. I'm going to make sure I have that. So before you guys sign off, go and show him some love. Have a great weekend, Gundo, and
All
we'll
right.
talk soon, man.
Bye-bye.
Bless. So morning voice. Gundo shared his perspective, and I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Funny to say that he thinks the season's going to be City Liverpool. As it looks right now, I'm in agreement. But if there happens to be any movement, any changes over at Arsenal, I gotta adjust that. This can't happen, guys. This signing, Isak, it's long. If they get Isak, it's not just them just getting a 9. They don't just have to go out and get a 9, and that's going to be where the concern is. If they get this guy, the guy that went like that when they played Liverpool, if they get him, it's a long season, and it's a long season of Liverpool showing some dominance. I want to thank each and every one of you. Good looking out. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you just jumped on the show, hit that like button. We are going to have to deal with a lot of uncertainties with this upcoming season. I'm watching the Club World Cup because I want to see how our new additions work, and then maybe see whether there is that advantage versus Liverpool that aren't going to see their new signings in the mix until their preseason starts. But I want to show tremendous love. Cheers to each cheers to each and every one of you that were in the mix, commenting, dropping the like button, being a part of the show. Let me see these last few comments. For God's sake, no, please, no, Isa. I'm telling you, that can't happen. And on another, I didn't get into this because we were having such a great conversation, but this PSR, man, this PSR is so preventative of what Newcastle should be able to do at this stage within their, with their club development and progression. The fact that they got to balance things out this way and they got to lose a star, it's criminal, absolutely criminal. Vader, don't worry, we have Pep. I'm not worried here. I'm not worried here, but you gotta be alert. You gotta be alert. Again, CIA, Citeh Intelligent Agendas, another episode. We had to talk about this level of dominance that Liverpool are looking to execute after already winning the Prem. I got called out early in the show, like, oh, we've seen City spend da-da-da after winning the treble. Nah, directly after winning a title, this level of investment we have not seen. This aggressive after winning the Prem. They're doing more than what we've seen. Liverpool are doing more than what even City did in their pump after winning it. So you gotta respect it. You gotta be aware of it. I'm Vader Games. We had Gundalorian Pitch Points on the show. Please tune in. Don't miss future shows by subscribing, hitting that like button. You'll get the notification on when I'm live, and we will be back. Thank you, each and every one of you. I'm gonna shut this show down before 1:15. We're an hour 13 minutes, so let me shut down early. Enjoy this outro and some of the previous shows that I did over at Why Always Me.